Alright, what is going on, my dudes? So it has been a minute since I've updated this best champs to use an Awakening gem on list. And yesterday was spring cleaning, and a bunch of people picked up that generic gem, and a bunch of people came and like commented on a few of my videos. They were like, dude, make a video on the gem. And I was like, you know what? I meant to do that, and I completely forgot. So today we're gonna do that, okay? Now, the way this is done is pretty simple. The top here are champs that I think are worth a gray generic gem. Now this goes for if you 100% Act 7, Abyss, right? That's where you get that generic gem from. Now, for a class gem, really self-explanatory, right? The class of that type. Also debatable, okay? Now, this timing is a little different because yesterday there was like the 6-star generic gem for $15, right? If you got the piggy banks or whatever into the arena and all that stuff. So if you are watching this video specifically coming from spring cleaning 2022, I'd say even tossing a generic gem into one of the debatable champs down here is a decent idea, because last year at spring cleaning it was a choose your class gem, and that's essentially like kind of what this is. Like, you're picking up a gem for a specific class. This is not like you spent a year and a half working on Act 7, make sure you use that gem right. This is like you spent your money on this gem. Is it going to be at least debatable putting into this champ? If so, I say go for it. So with all that being said, let's go ahead and start jumping in here for skill class. The only champion I'm putting in generic is Nick Fury, okay? Because Nick Fury is just so... He goes from 0 to 60 when he goes Awakened, man. And he's really the only champion in the skill class that does so. Now, for a class gem here, Blade, Thor Ragnarok, Mole Man, Kingpin, and Black Cat. Of course, Black Cat you only have if you did Cavs or if you did the arena, right? So Kingpin, huge benefit even at Sig 1. He starts faster after his overdrive goes away. Very nice to have. Mole Man at a very high Sig, very high damage increase. Thor Ragnarok, huge damage increase, man. Plus, he is a top 5 prestige champion. Also, Blade, even just at Sig 1, the regeneration is absolutely incredible, man. So, Blade, newest champ added to the 6-star pool. If you got him from the featured, right? Definitely worth it. However, I would recommend going for a few more features first. Now, when it comes to debatable here, I want to make it very, very clear that none of these champions are bad at all. In fact, all of these champions are great, and I have most of them at rank 3 and most of them Awakened, okay? So, Crossbones, Black Panther, Shang-Chi, and Aegon. Aegon's debatable because, personally, man, I know that many people disagree, but I only really like Aegon for stuff like Labyrinth and Abyss, okay? So if you're going to be doing that content, then yeah, I think he's definitely worth the gem. But if you're not, I would save it for somebody else. For Shang-Chi, he just does not need it, man. He gets a little benefit, no doubt about it, but he's so good unawakened, I just don't know if he needs it. Is he one of the best skill champs in the game? Yes. Does he need to be awakened? No. OG Black Panther. If you run the Suicide Masteries at Sig 1, 1 intercept, you're good to go. Without the Suicide Masteries, well, I feel like you don't really need this. Now, it's definitely nice to have. It's definitely very, very nice to have. Especially at a high Sig, it's going to reduce the defensive ability X reduction a lot more at a high Sig, right? So we can also go ahead and put this here because he benefits from high Sig, which is a part of the key here. But even just unduped, I think he's really fun. My Black Panther's at Sig 1 I got from the arena. Don't want to put any more Sigs into him because I like him with the Suicide Masteries. 1 intercept, good to go. Crossbones, basically, man, he has all of his damage and defensive ability accuracy at unduped. Now, if you can get him to a very high Sig 200, 90% chance to shrug off debuffs, that's awesome. At Sig 1, it's like not that at all. At Sig 20, it's like a 50% chance to shrug off a debuff, right? Which is nice to have. Now, this is a Awakening gem list. This is not like pour 200 Sigs into him, okay? He benefits from a high Sig. If you love Crossbones and you want to get in the Sig 200, that could be a pretty good investment. But just a Sig 1 Crossbones is really not going to do much for you. Not going to be reliable debuff shrugging, in my opinion. Crossbones, possibly one of my favorite champs in the entire game. So I'm not biased against him. I'm just saying. All right, I'm not biased against any of these champs because I have most of these champs ranked up at this point. So let's keep going. Over here, for generic worthy science champions, I have Cap and Spidey 2099. I feel like both of these are self-explanatory at this point. Now, here's the thing. Spidey benefits from a high Sig. Cap kind of needs a high Sig. So if you are willing to invest in Cap, I'd say probably not. Even Spidey at like a lower Sig 20 even, it definitely is a nice benefit, but I would highly recommend investing in Spidey. Let's move on to Class 4 Science, okay? Lots of really great champs here. Immortal Abomination, fine at Sig 1, dude. Void, honestly, really wants to be a high Sig. I made that Is Void worth ranking at Sig 20 video a few months ago. You can go check it out if you want to see it. Personally, I would say no, but at a high Sig, yes. Anti-Venom, decent at a low Sig. Thing, we just made that, is Thing worth ranking a Sig 20 video? I would say he definitely is. So if you can get him like Sig 20, I think you're good to go. Overseer doesn't need to be a super high Sig. Definitely a very underrated great champion. Scorpion, super duper new. Nobody has this guy yet. His calves aren't even out yet, but he definitely benefits from a decent Sig when it comes to matchups where you're going to be siphoning some healing. Now, all these champions are great to put in. And over here in Debatable, we have Human Torch, Piggy, and Mr. Negative. So let's go in reverse order. Mr. Negative, amazing champ here. The only thing is with Mr. Negative is like he's just so good unduped, and his Sig ability is so niche in my opinion. He has like 4 points to it, and the most important part is the fact he can heal from degen. That's so specific to me, and he already reduces degen damage per each debuff on the defender. So it's kind of one of those things where it's like you're going to put a high-class 6-star Awakening gem, one of the rarest resources into the game, for such a niche ability. I don't know. For Piggy, definitely nice to have, but he's totally fine unduped as well. Human Torch, his Sig ability, it's like really useful in Abyss, and that's kind of it, man. Like at Sig 200, like yeah, if you're using Torch for a bunch of fights in the quest, you'll probably get your pre-fight back, but I can't recommend anybody really putting a gem into Human Torch, but he's just such a great champ. I feel like he needs to be on the list. Let's move on to Mystic now. So, for Mystic, we have Dr. Doom and Diablo. Really quick, Dr. Doom has the Prestige play little arrow here. If you're not caring about Prestige, I would not generic Dr. Doom. But the reason why he is there is because A, he's an amazing champion, best Mystic champ in the game, really, at the end of the day. Especially best Mystic champ without suicides. Diablo gives him a run for his money if you do run suicides. But Dr. Doom, amazing champ. He also has top 2 prestige in the entire game, so that's why I can say generic into Dr. Doom. Spoiler alert, Silver Surfer is not on this list for generic, but Dr. Doom, just because of how good he is, I could see him being worth the generic. But if you don't care about prestige, he's great on Awakened. Diablo, really good. A lot of people say he needs to be a high Sig. I disagree. Just like Sig 20 Diablo, amazing. High Sig Diablo, even more amazing. Dude's insane, even if you don't run suicides. Let's keep it moving over here. We got Tigra, benefits from a high Sig, no doubt about it. Just like Sig 1 Tigra, not feeling it. If you can get her to like at least Sig 100, I am feeling that, man. Voodoo does not need to be a high Sig. Morningstar, same deal for her. Mojo, super underrated. Unfortunately, he does benefit from high Sig. Doesn't need to be Sig 200, but I say like Sig 60 is a solid spot for that guy. I don't believe I have anything in Debatable over here. Yeah, you can kind of put like, I don't know, like Ghost Rider if you want to put someone there. But he also benefits from high Sig, and he's also a little outdated, and he does need to be at a decent Sig for that Fury to like really mean something. But if you're a huge Ghost Rider fan, maybe it's debatable. So I just wanted somebody down there. Let's move on over here for Cosmic. Hercules and Corvus. I think that we can keep moving. So let's go over here for the Cosmic Class Gems. Silver Surfer, and the only reason he's here is because he is the best prestige in the game. He deserves the spot. However, if you do not care about prestige, holy crap, do not do it. He's decent. He's not the worst champ. I feel like he gets a worse reputation than he is because of the character that he is, because of who he is. But at the end of the day, he's not the best champ, man. Captain Marvel movie, I almost put into debatable. I want to put into debatable, but she's a little outdated to me at this point. But she definitely does benefit quite a bit. She doesn't need to be super high Sig, but around like Sig 60, Sig 70 is really good for her. But even like Sig 20 is really nice for her as well. Gets that indestructible, very nice utility to have. We still send her out in war sometimes, so she definitely does still hold up in 2022. Hyperion, no brainer. Sig 1 and done, you're good to go. I mean, I could recommend bringing him the Sig 20 because his curve kind of goes like this from like 1 to 20, and then it kind of like goes steady. So if you have like 19 Sigs laying around, 19 Cosmic Sigs, that could be a good place to put him in. Medusa, Sig 1 and done, you're good to go. At Sig 200, you have a 100% chance to auto block. Just don't get hit. Kidding. But I wouldn't put all those 6 into her just for that. Sig 1, you get your Furies. Medusa, great champ. I would love to have one. King Groot. So we made our is King Groot worth ranking at Sig 20 video a few months ago, and I'd say yes, man. Sig 1, not really feeling that. Get him like Sig 20, Sig 40, Sig 65 is a solid sweet spot for me. That's where I want to get my King Groot to. He's currently Sig 20, but you know, I pulled a Cosmic 3 to 4, and I had to put a billion Sigs into Null, so here we are. But yeah, King Groot, definitely one I think I got to Sig 65 is where I like his sweet spot. He's going to regenerate about 10% health, give or take 11% health every 13 seconds, which is very powerful there, right? 665. Cosmic Ghost Rider, Sig 1 and done. At a high Sig, does more damnation damage, but I mean, like, big yellow numbers, right? So I almost had him in debatable, but the damnation, having that nice buff control and like the heal block and everything, really, really nice stuff. So I could definitely see a lot of merit into a Cosmic Gem into CGR. So let's keep it going here for debatable. Angela, Cersei, and Null. Now, Null isn't debatable here. He's a rank 4 champ for me. Null at Sig 200 is nuts. But if you cannot get him like above Sig 120, dude, which is a big commitment. If you're putting a gem into a champ, that means you're starting at Sig 1. I'd say no, man. It's just like, I just don't think he's worth low Sig. Now, if you said to me right now, I have 100 Cosmic Sigs, and I have generic Sigs in overflow. Do you think I should Sig 200 Null? I would say honestly, yes. But that's like really, truly, genuinely what he needs for you to really see a benefit. Just the way that he scales, man. I mean, like, you know, Sig 140, 60, 80, 200, but anything like above like 120 is where he really needs to be, which is a big commitment, which you're probably not going to be ready to do if you're starting him unduped, you know? Cersei, amazing champ. It's more of a defensive Sig ability with the regeneration and everything, so I'd love Cersei, man. I don't know if I put a gem into her. Angela, same reason as Null, where he really does kind of she really needs to be a high Sig to really see the benefits of, like, making those debuffs, like, go away. Now, it's amazing utility, and I like Angela more than Captain Marvel movie, but Angela kind of like needs that higher Sig, man. Sig 20 is fine if you run her with Odin for those Odin pre-fights to get the rebuffs on you, but also, man, great champ to have, nice niche utility to have. I don't know if I'd want to put like a gem into it though, but that's just personally me. I can definitely see a lot of merit in moving her up to class, but I would personally give these champs a class gem before Angela, and that's why she's there. Now for tech, I only have Ghost in there, man, because the tech class, there's a lot of really great champs that I feel like are really good for a class gem here. Nimrod, Guardian, Sam Wilson, Omega Sentinel, Starkey, and Silver Centurion, right? I feel like all these champs are going to benefit very nicely from a gem. Guardian probably will benefit the most, in my opinion. However, I don't know if I'd want to give a generic to Guardian, and also he like really wants to be high Sig. Like Ghost benefits a lot, but Guardian really wants to be like high Sig. Sam Wilson doesn't need to be super high Sig. Nimrod doesn't need to be, but definitely benefits. I feel like we can give him that. I originally had Nimrod in the generic, but I have my Nimrod at rank 3, and I'm using him unduped right now, and he's absolutely monstrous unduped. So it's kind of one of those things where, like, man, I can see merit giving him a generic, especially one like we had yesterday, right, in spring cleaning, where it's like you pick it up, $15, right, you're good to go. But I don't know, man. He's just so monstrous unduped. Definitely would give him a class gem. Definitely would give all these champs a class gem. Silver Centurion is really solid at Sig 1, man. Makes all of his debuffs passives really, really nice to have. Starkey doesn't need to be high Sig, definitely benefits from it. I'd say like give him like Sig 20, and like that's where mine is, rank 3, love him. Omega Sentinel, honestly, man, I don't know if I'd give her a gem if not for prestige. That's why she's here. Her prestige is top 3. Really, really good. But she doesn't really need the dupe, man. And plus, no one really has her yet, so you probably don't have to worry about that yet. But if you're watching this in the future, keep that in mind. Sam Wilson, Sig 1, you're pretty much good there. But he's in the featured. He's very new, so I'd kind of wait on that for now. And for debatable, I don't even remember what I have here. Oh yeah, Ultron, Penny, and Warlock. Now, I've been a big supporter of Warlock Sig in the past, but as health pools get larger and larger and larger, that is only going to be like really useful, that D-Gem, in Alliance War. And if you don't care about War or Battlegrounds, you're not really going to notice that. If you do, yeah, pop that gem in, you're good to go. You can even give him some Sigs if you want. Penny Parker, man, I feel like it's a nice Sig. It's more so a defensive ability for me. I love Penny. I have all 3 of these champs at rank 3. I love all 3 of them. Ultron, he gets a nice benefit of high Sig, but at Sig 1, you're not going to really feel it too much, man. But I know that a lot of people really love Ultron, so I wanted to pop him onto the list. But yeah, again, man, like I said earlier, it's like being indebatable is not a bad thing. I have like pretty much most of the champions on this entire list ranked up because they're amazing. Some of them just don't need to be awakened, or don't desperately need it, right? So let's move on to Mutants. For generic, man, I got Omega Red, Archangel, and Kitty Pryde for generic worthy mutants. They're just, I feel like it's all self-explanatory at this point. Archangel doesn't need to be high Sig. A lot of people say Sig 112. Yeah, that's definitely where it caps out, where you need 3 neurotoxins for that 100% ability accuracy shutdown, but mine's Sig 20, good to go. Omega Red, Kitty Pryde, amazing champs. I mean, if you run suicides, Omega Red, no brainer. Kitty Pryde doesn't need to be a super high Sig. She definitely benefits, but yeah. When it comes to the class gems, Namor, prestige play, and of course that Sig 200 ability is amazing. Only put the gem in if you're willing to take him the Sig 200, right? Because that's where he kind of needs to be for that guaranteed damage reflection. Really amazing ability. Colossus, not my favorite champ in the game, but he does benefit from a high Sig, and he's quite nice with it if you're a big Colossus fan. Magneto, I must have not proofread this because I'm going to put that in debatable. Don't know why that's there. Because I definitely would not advise people to give a gem to Magneto. But he's definitely debatable for it, right? Toad, new champ. He definitely benefits nicely from a Sig. He has a strong Sig, very strong champ in my opinion. I feel like Toad is going to fly under the radar for quite a bit until he doesn't anymore. And then for debatable, boom. Professor X and Magneto, they both do not need it. They both benefit nicely. You can totally throw these champs up here if you want to, man. But like, I don't know, man. Honestly, dude, it's like, why not, man? It was my birthday last week. Good vibes only, right? Boom. Debatable. Who can we add into debatable here? How about we do this? Insert OP mutant here. Because there's a lot of really good ones, right? So, you know, Havoc, debatable. Who else, man? Bishop, debatable, right? Apocalypse, probably don't, but like probably debatable because he's so good. So this is the list. People like to take their screenshots and whatnot. So boom, there we go. This is the list. I'm about to put my face back in 3, 2, 1. Ready? 3, 2, 1. There it is. So yeah, man, this is my list right now currently of like who I would give generic gems to, class gems to. If you're watching this in the future, right, that's what it's going to be like. But if you're watching this spring cleaning weekend, like the day it's uploaded, if you got a chance, let's say, man, let's say you got that Mr. Negative, dude. Let's say you opened up a Nexus Crystal, you pulled a Mr. Negative yesterday, and you're so excited about it. You took him up to rank 3, and you got your eye on Mr. Negative, man. Normally, under any circumstance, I would say probably don't want to give that guy a generic gem. But since it was being offered yesterday for a lower price than we've ever seen before, I don't anticipate we're going to be seeing that often. But since we did, I would say, bro, pick up that gem, pop it into Mr. Negative, and you're going to be good to go. So yeah, man. So this is my list, and that's all there is to it. If you enjoyed it, drop your boy a big ol' like. Hit that subscribe button. Go check out my crystal opening from yesterday. That MCOC damn epic whale was nice enough to sponsor, man. Go check out his channel. Hit the subscribe button for that guy. I'm super grateful to him for what he did. So seriously, man, super cool dude that guy is. Go check out his channel. Hit the subscribe button. He absolutely deserves it. I really want to get the guy to 10K subs. So hit the subscribe button, man. To me and him, double. Doing both at the same time. Hit the notifications too. And tell me your favorite color in the comment section. I don't know. I'll be seeing you around. If you comment your favorite color, then I know you watched the whole thing. And that means that you win an award. So